Transport yourself into this photo. You are in a lush and dense forest, teeming with life. You hear birds chirping and monkeys howling while the fog rolls over dense treetops, bringing peace over the land. You are in the rainforests of Southeast Asia, a tropic landscape said to be home to 20% of the entire planet's vertebrate and plant species. The reality, though, is that much of the place that you've just visited no longer exists. In fact, Southeast Asian rainforest area, the equivalent of 300 soccer fields, is being destroyed every hour. Why? The leading reason is for agricultural expansion, converting forests to cropland and pasture land. Southeast Asian rainforests span Burma, Thailand, Indonesia, including the major islands of Borneo and Sumatra, Malaysia, Laos, and Cambodia. The rainforests of Southeast Asia are said to be home to some of the highest levels of biodiversity on Earth, a diversity that is unequaled to that of the Amazon or African rainforests. Not only are the Southeast Asian rainforests the most biodiverse on Earth, they are also the oldest rainforests on Earth, dating back 70 million years. Yet due to deforestation, scientists estimate that primary forests on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra are expected to vanish in the next 20 years. One major reason contributing to deforestation in Southeast Asia is the palm oil industry. This red palm fruit is planted and harvested for extraction to make the most widely used vegetable oil in the world. Indonesia and Malaysia harvest and produce 85% of the world's palm oil alone. Remember that lush and pristine forest full of animal life where we started? Well, nearly half of all palm oil plantations in Southeast Asia, such as this one, have been planted at the expense of rainforests. Palm oil is incredibly valuable because of its high production yields and versatility to be used in a wide range of products. But all of this value comes at a hefty price. Deforestation's devastational impact is the loss of biodiversity to this region, a region that is now thought to be the most threatened area in the world for mammals. Not to mention the threat deforestation incurs to undiscovered and newly discovered species, which occur at a rate of at least 130 per year in these rainforests. The orangutan, which has one habitat in the entire world, and that is, you guessed it, in the rainforests of Southeast Asia on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra, has suffered the most impact as a direct result of its closest relatives, humans, who share 97% of their DNA with orangutans, but rely on the palm oil industry to produce their favorite products. Chances are, even if you don't realize it, you use palm oil. The World Wildlife Fund estimates half of all packaged grocery store items to contain it. It is prevalent in packaged food products, cosmetics, detergents, and biofuels because of its capability to sustain high temperatures and ability to make food spreadable and solid at room temperature. Palm oil is found in almost every snack food or processed item you can think of, from Nutella to Oreos to potato chips, donuts, pizza dough, ice cream, and instant noodles. These packaged foods that we enjoy have caused the destruction of 90% of the orangutan's habitat in the last 20 years. Not only does loss of habitat threaten the entire existence of this precious species, but it also threatens the existence of the entire ecosystem in Southeast Asia, in which orangutans are crucial. There are multiple plant species that can only germinate and grow after they have been passed through the gut of an orangutan. The Sumatran tiger is another mammal that has suffered from habitat loss due to deforestation by the palm oil industry, which tore down 20% of its habitat in only 12 years. Scientists say that there are only 400 to 600 of these animals left in the wild, while the palm oil industry further endangers Sumatran tigers by increasing their exposure to poachers. Road networks are constructed to allow palm oil workers entry into the plantations. These roads also increase access for poachers to areas of the forest that were previously impassable to them. Poachers use these roads as a vantage point to sit and wait and then clean out any animals that may be of value, including tigers, elephants, and rhinos. Along with orangutans and tigers, these Southeast Asian mammals are also endangered from increased poaching and loss of habitat due to the palm oil industry. From the top left clockwise, they are the Bornean pygmy elephant, the Sumatran elephant, and the Sumatran rhino. While palm oil corporations argue that their industry provides valuable jobs and opportunities for people in need, the reality is they create a system of dependence for indigenous peoples native to Southeast Asia, who must work for palm plantations, having been stripped of the forest land that they have used for thousands of years as means of food and survival. While saving the rainforest from deforestation and endangered animals from extinction on the remote islands of Southeast Asia may seem an impossible task for the everyday person, there are some things you can do to help. The first step is awareness of the palm oil products that you use on an everyday basis. Begin to read labels in the grocery store. Look for anything that says vegetable oil, ingredients with the word palm in it, STEAR in the prefix or suffix, sodium +8, and Aleus guineensis. Now, many major companies have certified their products through the RSPO, Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. But countless NGOs, including Greenpeace, say the RSPO doesn't set a high enough standard because many of the suppliers that claim to sell sustainable palm oil to companies don't completely ban deforestation or the destruction of peatland forests in Asia. The best way to make an impact right now is to reduce your overall consumption of palm oil. So vote with your dollars. Look into your cupboard, freezer, or bathroom and identify one thing that you normally consume that has palm oil in it. It could be Nutella, ice cream, Oreos, or your favorite shampoo. Swap this one item out for a product that does not contain palm oil. If you don't know for sure if a product contains it, researching the brand online is a good start. Ethical consumption is achievable one palm oil product less at a time, through your purchasing power and those of your friends and families. In the words of the great anthropologist Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.